NASA and SpaceX are poised for another monumental crew launch targeting March 14, 2025 at 7:03 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. This mission, designated Crew-10, aims to transport 4 astronauts to the International Space Station ISS. The anticipation surrounding this launch has been heightened following a last-minute cancellation of a planned launch on March 13 due to adverse weather conditions including high winds and precipitation expected in the flight path of the Dragon spacecraft. During a meeting on March 12, mission managers made the decision to postpone the launch after assessing the forecast and addressing a hydraulic issue with a ground support clamp arm for the Falcon 9 rocket at NASA's Kennedy Space Center in Florida. NASA astronauts and McClain and Nichole Ayers, along with Japanese astronaut Takuya Onishi and Russian cosmonaut Kirill Peskov, remained in astronaut crew quarters ready for their journey but forced to await more favorable conditions, as the launch is rescheduled. Coverage will commence at 3 p.m. on March 14, with docking at the ISS planned for 11:30 p.m. the following day. This mission marks a significant milestone as it represents the 10th crew rotation under SpaceX's Human Space Transportation System and is part of NASA's Commercial Crew program, which has facilitated multiple crewed flights to the ISS. The Crew-10 launch is particularly critical as it will pave the way for the return of the current crew of astronauts, including NASA's Suni Williams and Butch Wilmore, who have been aboard the station for nearly 9 months. Their return had been delayed due to complications with Boeing's Starliner spacecraft, which experienced malfunctions during its docking procedure, resulting in a decision to bring it back to Earth without a crew. This has left Williams and Wilmore waiting for their ride home, which is now set to involve the Crew-10 mission. The unusual circumstances surrounding the return of the astronauts have not gone unnoticed, becoming a topic of political discourse. Both SpaceX CEO Elon Musk and former President Donald Trump have made comments suggesting that the administration may have delayed the return for political reasons, a claim that has been met with skepticism. NASA's original plan to utilize a SpaceX vehicle for the astronauts' return has remained intact since its announcement last August. As the countdown to the Crew-10 launch continues, both NASA and SpaceX remain focused on ensuring a safe and successful mission. The upcoming launch not only represents the ongoing collaboration between public and private sectors in space exploration but also underlines the challenges and unpredictability associated with space travel. Observers are eagerly awaiting the outcome of this mission and what it may mean for future crewed flights to the ISS and beyond. NASA and SpaceX have set their sights on a new launch date for the Crew-10 mission, now targeted for March 14, 2025 at 7:03 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. This delay follows a decision made by mission managers to postpone the originally scheduled launch on March 13 due to unfavorable weather conditions, including high winds and precipitation in the flight path of the Dragon spacecraft. Additionally, a hydraulic issue with a ground support clamp arm at Launch Complex 39A has necessitated further attention from the launch teams. The Crew-10 mission is set to transport 4 astronauts to the International Space Station ISS, including NASA astronauts and McClain and Nichole Ayers, Japanese astronaut Takuya Onishi and Russian cosmonaut Kirill Peskov. These crew members are currently stationed in astronaut crew quarters at NASA's Kennedy Space Center awaiting their rescheduled launch. McClain will serve as the crew commander for this mission, which marks the 10th crew rotation under SpaceX's Human Space Transportation System and its 11th overall flight with a crew on board, including the Demo 2 test flight. The Crew-10 mission is particularly significant as it comes at a critical juncture for the ISS. Following their launch, the Crew-10 astronauts will take over operations from the current team, which includes NASA astronauts Suni Williams and Butch Wilmore. Williams and Wilmore have been aboard the ISS longer than initially planned, having been delayed in their return due to complications with Boeing's Starliner spacecraft, which was intended to ferry them back to Earth. Their eventual return will likely occur shortly after Crew-10's arrival, although a specific date for their undocking has yet to be announced. NASA's Commercial Crew program, which enables commercial partners like SpaceX to transport astronauts to and from the ISS, continues to demonstrate the complexities of managing human spaceflight amidst technical challenges. The high-profile nature of these missions has not only captured public interest but also turned them into focal points for political discussions. SpaceX CEO Elon Musk and former President Donald Trump have both made headlines with remarks implying political motives behind the delays in the astronauts' return. As the launch countdown resumes, NASA will initiate coverage of the Crew-10 mission starting at 3 p.m. on March 14, leading up to the anticipated docking at the ISS scheduled for 11:30 p.m. on March 15. This mission embodies the ongoing collaboration between government agencies and private companies in advancing human space exploration. As we look ahead, the successful launch of Crew-10 could pave the way for future missions, reinforcing the importance of reliable transportation to the ISS and beyond, while also addressing the immediate needs of astronauts awaiting their journey home. NASA and SpaceX faced an unexpected setback on March 12, 2025, when they announced the scrubbing of the Crew-10 mission launch originally scheduled for the following day. A hydraulic system issue with a ground support clamp arm at Launch Complex 39A located at NASA's Kennedy Space Center in Florida was identified as the reason for the delay. This incident highlights the complexities and challenges involved in space missions even as they become more routine. The Crew-10 mission was set to transport NASA astronauts and McClain and Nichole Ayers, JAXA Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency astronaut Takuya Onishi and Roscosmos cosmonaut Kirill Peskov to the International Space Station. Following the announcement, the crew exited the Dragon spacecraft, and NASA's live coverage continued until they safely returned to the astronaut crew quarters. As the mission managers conduct a thorough review of the hydraulic issue, the next available launch opportunity is now targeted for March 13 at 7:26 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, with docking at the ISS anticipated for March 14 at 11:30 p.m. Despite the current disruption, the U.S. Space Force 45th Weather Squadron has reported a favorable forecast with over a 95% chance of suitable weather conditions for the revised launch attempt. This optimism is crucial as the Crew-10 mission is part of NASA's Commercial Crew program and is the 10th crew rotation mission utilizing SpaceX's human space transportation system. Following this mission, the Crew-9 team, which includes NASA astronauts Nichole, Suni Williams and Butch Wilmore, as well as Roscosmos cosmonaut Alexander Gorbanov, is expected to return from the ISS no earlier than March 17. Pending weather conditions at the splashdown sites off Florida's coast. The Crew-10 mission represents a significant milestone not only for NASA and SpaceX but also for international collaboration in space exploration. The ongoing partnership has enabled a series of successful missions since the inception of the Commercial Crew program, and this delay underscores the necessity of rigorous safety protocols. As NASA stated, the health and safety of our astronauts is our top priority, reflecting the agency's commitment to maintaining high standards in space travel. As the teams work diligently to resolve the ground system issue, the broader implications of these delays resonate throughout the space community. With the increasing frequency of crewed missions, such incidents serve as a reminder of the intricate nature of space exploration. The successful launch of Crew-10 will pave the way for future missions, reaffirming the reliability of SpaceX's Dragon spacecraft and the collaborative efforts of international space agencies. Looking ahead, all eyes will be on the revised launch date, as the mission is crucial not only for the astronauts on board but also for the ongoing research and international cooperation fostered aboard the ISS. As teams monitor both the technical aspects and the weather conditions, the hope remains that Crew-10 will soon embark on its journey, continuing humanity's quest to explore the final frontier. In a remarkable advancement for lunar exploration, NASA's Langley Research Center has successfully captured unprecedented footage of a lunar lander's descent and landing on the Moon's surface. This groundbreaking achievement, facilitated by the stereo cameras for Lunar Plume Surface Studies SCALPS 1.1 instrument, took place during the recent landing of Firefly Aerospace's Blue Ghost lander on March 2, 2025, as part of NASA's Commercial Lunar Payload Services (CLPS) initiative. This mission marks a pivotal step as humanity prepares for a new wave of lunar exploration under the Artemis campaign. The SCALPS 1.1 technology, which consists of 6 cameras, 4 short focal length and 2 long focal length, captured over 3,000 images during the descent phase. This data provides critical insights into the interaction between the lander's thruster plumes and the lunar surface, an interaction that begins approximately 49 feet above the Moon's surface and becomes increasingly complex as the lander descends. The video, albeit compressed and resolution limited, reveals the violent stirring of lunar dust, soil and rocks, collectively known as regolith, by the lander's thrusters. Rob Maddock, the Scalps project manager, expressed enthusiasm about the preliminary data, stating, "Although the data is still preliminary, the 3,000-plus images we captured appear to contain exactly the type of information we were hoping for in order to better understand plume surface interaction. This understanding is vital for designing future lunar landers and surface infrastructure, especially as the frequency of lunar landings increases." The Scalps data will significantly contribute to the field of lunar exploration, especially in modeling how landings affect the surrounding environment. As NASA prepares for more frequent missions, including sending humans back to the Moon, accurate predictions of landing effects will be crucial. The Scalps instrument will continue to operate, capturing additional images and data throughout the lunar day and into the night, allowing scientists to observe how lunar dust behaves in varying conditions. The implications of this successful operation extend beyond the immediate mission. As NASA collaborates with various American companies under the CLPS initiative, the data obtained will aid in reducing risks associated with future lunar missions. Furthermore, NASA's Langley Research Center is already gearing up for the next Scalps flight on Blue Origin's Blue Moon lander, scheduled for later this year, showcasing the ongoing commitment to enhance lunar exploration capabilities. In tandem with NASA's lunar initiatives, educational outreach continues to play a pivotal role. Recently, students from Palmdale High School visited NASA's Armstrong Flight Research Center to gain insights into aerospace careers and technologies. This effort underscores NASA's mission to inspire the next generation of scientists and engineers, fostering a skilled workforce prepared to tackle the challenges of space exploration. As we look to the future, the intersection of technological advancements and educational outreach promises to propel humanity further into space. The data gleaned from missions like Scalps will not only advance our understanding of lunar landings but also inspire young minds to pursue careers in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics STEM. With each new mission, NASA is not just exploring the Moon, it is also laying the groundwork for the future of space exploration, making the dreams of today's students the reality of tomorrow. As the global race to explore Mars intensifies, contrasting fortunes have emerged from the United States and China, highlighting both the ambitions and challenges faced by these spacefaring nations. While China's space agency appears poised to make significant strides with its upcoming Tianwen-3 mission, NASA is grappling with budget cuts that could jeopardize its own aspirations for the Red Planet. The China National Space Administration (CNSA) recently announced an open invitation for international science projects to join its Tianwen-3 mission, slated for launch in 2028. This initiative aims to retrieve samples from Mars, a goal that aligns with the increasing global interest in the planet's exploration. The CNSA has set a tight timeline for project submissions, with letters of intent due by June and final selections to be made in October. Each chosen project will benefit from a free ride for instruments weighing up to 20 kilograms, provided they are ready by 2027. This opportunity is open to the global community, the CNSA stated, emphasizing its commitment to collaborative scientific exploration. In stark contrast, NASA is reeling from significant budgetary constraints that have emerged following cuts initiated by the Trump administration. These reductions have not only affected funding but have also resulted in leadership instability, including the recent loss of its chief scientist. As NASA faces these hurdles, its plans for Mars exploration, including potential missions to return samples, remain uncertain. The agency's ongoing struggles could hinder its ability to compete with countries like China, which is rapidly advancing its own Mars initiatives. Meanwhile, recent research has shed light on the geological history of Mars, revealing intriguing findings about its surface. A study led by scientists at the Planetary Science Institute has detailed how volcanic ash on Mars has been sculpted by water over millennia, forming complex landforms in the Valles Marineris region. Using data from the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter, researchers discovered that these layered deposits, found on plateaus near the planet's largest canyon, are more widespread than previously thought. "We now have a much better picture of where water was available on Mars," explained Isaac Smith, a senior scientist involved in the study. "This research not only enhances our understanding of Mars evolution but also informs future exploration strategies." In another fascinating development, NASA's Perseverance rover has identified large high-purity quartz crystals on Mars which are believed to have formed in the presence of hot water. This discovery, made while the rover was exploring the ancient Jezero crater, could provide vital clues about the planet's past hydrothermal activity and potential signs of ancient life. The presence of quartz alongside other minerals like opal marks a significant milestone in the search for evidence of life beyond Earth. As the landscape of planetary exploration evolves, the implications of these findings and developments will likely resonate far beyond the confines of academia. With China's ambitious plans and NASA's ongoing challenges, the next few years will be crucial in determining the trajectory of human exploration on Mars. The race to understand our neighboring planet is not just a matter of national pride but could also pave the way for groundbreaking discoveries that reshape our understanding of life and the universe. As nations gear up for their respective missions, the global community watches closely, eager to see who will ultimately prevail in the quest to unlock the secrets of Mars. In a remarkable advancement for lunar exploration, NASA's Langley Research Center has successfully captured groundbreaking footage of a lunar lander's engine plumes interacting with the Moon's surface. This historic imagery was obtained during the descent and landing of Firefly Aerospace's Blue Ghost lunar lander on March 2, 2025, marking a significant milestone in NASA's Commercial Lunar Payload Services (CLPS) initiative as preparations intensify for future lunar missions under the Artemis program. The footage was recorded using the stereo cameras for Lunar Plume Surface Studies SCALP's 1.1 instrument, which features a total of 6 cameras, 4 short focal length and 2 long focal length. By capturing images at 8 frames per second, the SCALP's team was able to stitch together a preliminary sequence that begins approximately 91 feet above the lunar surface. Notably, the interaction between the lander's thruster plumes and the lunar regolith started to manifest at around 49 feet, resulting in a complex display of dust and debris being kicked up upon landing. Rob Maddock, the SCALP's project manager, expressed his enthusiasm about the data collected, stating, "Although the data is still preliminary, the 3,000-plus images we captured appear to contain exactly the type of information we were hoping for in order to better understand plume surface interaction." He emphasized the importance of this data in mitigating risks associated with future lunar landers and surface operations, underscoring the collaborative efforts of the dedicated team at NASA. As lunar missions become more frequent and payloads land in closer proximity, understanding the effects of these landings is critical. The data derived from SCALPs will play a vital role in informing future robotic and crewed missions to the Moon. The long focal length cameras of SCALPs allowed researchers to capture images from a higher altitude, providing valuable before and after comparisons of the lunar surface. The team plans to utilize stereophotogrammetry techniques to create detailed 3D digital elevation maps from these overlapping images. The SCALP's 1.1 instrument continues to operate on the Moon, with plans to capture additional images as the lunar day progresses and light conditions shift. In a further bid to enhance understanding of the lunar environment, the team hopes to observe the behavior of dust during the transition to lunar night. Michelle Monk, principal investigator for SCALPs, remarked, "The successful SCALPs operation is a key step in gathering fundamental knowledge about landing and operating on the Moon, and this technology is already providing data that could inform future missions." This initiative is particularly timely as NASA continues to collaborate with various American companies to facilitate scientific advancements on the lunar surface. Meanwhile, the lunar landscape has been abuzz with activity. Just days after the Blue Ghost landed, Intuitive Machines' second lunar lander Athena met an unfortunate fate during its March 6 landing attempt. The lander tipped over upon touchdown in a crater near the Moon's south pole, leading to its declaration as non-operational shortly thereafter. Despite this setback, the brief operational period of Athena is expected to yield valuable insights for future missions, particularly in challenging lunar regions known to contain significant water ice deposits. As the lunar exploration landscape continues to evolve, NASA is gearing up for its next phase of missions, including the upcoming launch of SCALP's next iteration aboard Blue Origin's Blue Moonlander later this year. The ongoing collection and analysis of data from these missions will be instrumental in paving the way for sustainable exploration on the Moon, ultimately contributing to humanity's understanding of our nearest celestial neighbor. Looking ahead, as more landers and payloads touch down on the lunar surface, the insights gleaned from these missions will not only enhance our scientific knowledge but also shape the future of lunar exploration, ensuring that humanity can safely and effectively operate in this challenging environment.